Today, we're going to talk about a really modern problem that, funny enough, has a solution that's about 100 years old. It's this habit we have of constantly looking for outside approval for everything. We're going to dig into the wisdom of a writer named Ernest Holmes to figure out how to build some real self-reliance and stop being what he called a leaner. So just think about it for a second. Before you make a decision, whether it's big or small, what's your first move? Is it to text a friend or maybe post a poll on social media? It's become so normal, right? This need to get a consensus before we do anything. But Holmes had a name for this. He called it being a leaner. And here's the thing. Here's the real catch. The more we lean on other people for their opinions, the less we actually trust our own. It creates this vicious cycle. You ask for validation, which weakens your own sense of authority, which then makes you feel even less confident about your next decision. So the question is, how do we break out of this loop? Well, the answer we're looking for actually comes from a kind of surprising place, the year 1919. This was a time of massive change, right after World War I, and it was a time that really demanded a new kind of personal strength, a new way of thinking about yourself. And this is the guy, Ernest Holmes. He was writing in the thick of all that post-war change, and he was a major voice in what was called the New Thought movement. It was all about self-reliance, about the power of your own mind. He saw that real, lasting success, it wasn't about what was happening on the outside. It was all about what you were building on the inside. And this quote right here, this is really the heart of what we're going to unpack today. Now, Holmes wasn't saying we should all become hermits and never talk to anyone. Not at all. He was just arguing that the ultimate strength, the guidance that we're so busy looking for out there, it's actually already inside us. Okay, so the very first step is just to see the habit, to recognize this pattern of leaning in our own lives. We have to stop outsourcing our own power, our own decisions, and start to reclaim that inner authority. So what is leaning, really? Well, it's basically telling yourself over and over that somebody else's opinion matters more than your own intuition. It's like you're handing the keys to your car to someone else and saying, "Here, you drive." And if you do that long enough, you kind of forget how to navigate for yourself. Let me give you an example. Imagine a project lead, right? Super smart, totally capable. But on every little detail, they're constantly asking the team for consensus. Hey guys, should this button be blue or maybe green? What does everyone think? Now, instead of making the team feel included, it actually does the opposite. It causes delays, and slowly but surely, it chips away at the team's confidence in their leader. They've outsourced their own authority, and now they're stuck in that feedback loop of insecurity. All right, so once we get a handle on not outsourcing our authority, the next step is to kind of build a fortress around our mind to protect it from all that external noise. Holmes had this idea that our inner world literally creates our outer world, so protecting our mental space is absolutely crucial. You know, Holmes had this really fascinating idea he called a mental atmosphere. He believed that all of our thoughts, our words, our actions, they all combine to create this personal energy field around us. And that field either attracts or repels experiences. So if that atmosphere is just crowded and chaotic with everyone else's opinions and doubts, well, it's pretty hard to find any clarity in there. So how do we actually protect it? Well, first, before you make a big decision, learn to just keep your own counsel. Let your own intuition have the first word. Be intentional about limiting how many voices you let into your head. Then you focus your mind, he called it a one-pointed thought, on the outcome you want. And you just practice listening to that quiet inner signal instead of all the loud external noise. Think about somebody who's facing a really tough choice in a relationship. All their friends have strong opinions, you know? You have to leave, or no, stay, you can make it work. The noise is just overwhelming. But instead of polling everyone they know, they decide to spend a weekend completely alone. No texts, no calls. And in that quiet space, the answer starts to become clear. It wasn't in their friend's advice. It was just waiting for them in the silence the whole time. And all of this leads us to the final and maybe the most important step, actively practicing self-trust, doing it over and over until it just becomes your default setting. I just love how clear Holmes is here. Your inner voice isn't supposed to be some vague, confusing whisper. He says when you clear away all the other junk, its guidance is unmistakable. The real challenge isn't hearing it. It's just learning to finally trust it. Now, you don't have to get all metaphysical about this to see the truth in it. It doesn't matter if you call it your intuition, your gut feeling, or the infinite understanding like Holmes did. His point is simply that there is a deeper intelligence that you can tap into. It's that part of you that just knows things. The whole practice is about learning to trust that voice first before any other. Okay, so this all sounds good in theory, right? But how do we actually put it into practice in our real busy lives? Well, let's turn all this into a super simple, actionable exercise that you can start doing tomorrow morning. It's honestly so simple. First, before the world rushes in with its demands, just pause. Take one single minute of quiet. No phone, no email, just you. Second, anchor yourself. Silently say something simple to yourself like, I have what it takes to handle today, or I trust my own judgment. And third, proceed. Just go into your day with that one clear intention. Today, I'm going to be my own primary advisor. So, I'll leave you with this question. What is just one decision you can make today, like right now, without asking for anyone else's input? It doesn't have to be some huge life-altering choice. It could be as simple as what to have for lunch or what task you're going to work on next. The whole point is to just start practicing, start taking back your authority, one small, self-reliant decision at a time.